I have
Yeah.
completed my 10th standard from St. Mary's High School and my 12th from BJP Junior College. And my stream was science stream. And I had completed my undergraduation from College of Agriculture, OUAT Bhubaneswar.
So you are a agriculture graduate, and you have
Yes,
also very good career. As I can see, you have 93% in 10th, and your graduation in 83%. Why you want to join civil service?
sir. I have civil services, the uh, first and foremost goal in civil services, and the first and foremost aim of joining civil services is civil services provides you with an interface to interact with public in multifarious ways rather than just having a unidimensional approach to interact with public or to serve the society. And civil services provides you with an array of such platforms through which you can fulfill the job, have a personal gratification, as well as your duty towards the society.
You have passed from 2019. So why? So in the last 5 years, what you have done?
So I was solely preparing for civil services.
Okay. One last question from my side.
Yes.
You have agriculture background, but your optional is sociology.
Yes, sir.
So why you are not comfortable in agriculture?
Sir, I am comfortable in agriculture, but I was always fascinated with society, its institutions, how the societal structures operate, how s- how some structures of the society have still remained the same for the past thousands of years, and how what changes have undergone. These things always had been a fascination to me, and civil services thankfully did provide me a platform where I could take on this subject and read about it, and at the same time when have a knowledge about the stream as well as write my exam with the subject. So I chose sociology, sir.
Okay, sir. Last time also you went for interview. I think.
Yes, sir. So it was in 2020. I didn't give the 2021 exam, and
Okay.
this is the second time.
So
Yes.
have you written UPSC this time?
Yes, I just gave my means yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. So over to Gyan.
Sarah, no name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sarah, you studied agricultural engineering, no?
No, sir, agriculture.
Oh, agriculture. You BSc AG.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You could have studied some other field. Do you feel that agriculture has no relevance right now, for which people are not opting for an agricultural field, rather they are joining some other service? We find most of people with agricultural background, they are opting for banking or civil services. What is the main reason behind it?
So India is a agrarian country with, though the percentage of contribution towards its GDP has reduced over the years, but it still remains a very important source of employment and economy for the country. So I don't think agriculture as a significance for the Indian society has reduced. Yes, the people opting for agriculture as a subject for their graduation, changing career paths for to going to other fields such as banking or civil services. It's maybe their ambition where there is a very large chunk of population which does goes into agricultural research. Like for example, we saw 105 climate resilient varieties which was released by our honorable prime minister, which does show that there is a very chunk of population which is also engaged there, but it remains behind the screen, behind the curtains, which does not come out in the open. But yes, but yeah, there's also a chunk of population which goes into other fields which might be a very personal ambition goals.
What do you mean by organic farming?
So organic farming entails the use of uh, 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 avoidance of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and depending upon the organic source, like using cow dung as a fertilizer, cow urine as a type of fertilizer, as we see in case of Wafisa, and they're using biological method of control for pesticide, for pest control, for weed control, rather than depending upon chemical fertilizers and chemical herbicides and weedicides.
Do you feel opting organic farming can meet our food security need of the country?
A gradual transition into organic farming will enable us to meet the food security demands of our country. Uh, a very drastic adoption of technology, like forcing upon farmers to grow or to adopt the organic method, will just push the country into jeopardy, because the farmers are very much dependent upon the chemical fertilizers. A very conscious, sustainable transfer will ensure it, because we have seen already translating it in Sikkim. It's the first state in India which is 100% organic and has been also been ensuring the food security of its people.
Fine. We have been doing organic farming
Yes.
since ages. Fine. So right
Yes,
now
yes.
there is a challenge in the climatic front, climatic change also there. At the same time, we are talking about organic farming. So this situation of challenges we are facing in the climatic front, and we are talking about this organic farming. So will it be sufficient to meet our need of food security with a country of 140 to 150 crore population we have?
A complete transition to organic farming, as of now, we don't have a particular data about it. If it is going to meet 100%, organic farming is going to meet our food security demands. But even 100% shift to organic farming is not needed. We have our own national determined contributions, our national determined goals towards climate change, and as well as ensuring the farmer sustainability of 50 to 75% of even transition to organic farming will ensure food security, make the farming sector sustainable, as well as meet our climate resilience goals.
What is your opinion to improve the agricultural scenario of the country, to improve our productivity and employment?
Yes. So, first and foremost is shift to hardy resistant variety of crops. We already know India falls among the top 25 water stressed nations in the world, which is only going to worsen in the future if not curtailed today. Millet mission of Odisha is a huge testament to the fact. Having hardy resistant variety of crops will not only reduce our water dependence, will also address food security issues, as well as the value addition which would generate income. Second is taking up mixed farming, not only depending upon cereals or horticultural crops, but having mixed enterprises like using mushrooms, having poultry farming, fish farming, these various types of irrigational diversities. Where we can also have bee apiculture, apiary, then leveraging the policy of one district, one product would also be a very integral issue in ensuring that the farmer income does get augmented. And with respect to agricultural employment, there is a need to re-strategize our approach from lab to farm. That the approach that we always had, that's lab to farm, is now fork to lab and fork to farm. Is to analyze what are the dietary changes that's taking place in today's scenario, what youngsters are preferring to eat, then integrating it in the cropping plan and in the cropping pattern of the country. Second is increasing the agricultural mechanization of the country. It's only 8%, whereas it's up to 50% in US. Third is bringing up agricultural startups. Having such a vibrant startup economy of the country and agriculture contributing only 10% to it is a very dismal picture. These are things would help to increase agricultural enterprise as well as employment.
Can you name few schemes that Odisha government had the earlier government, which has been renamed by the present government? Different developmental schemes.
So the renamed versions or the old schemes? Huh?
The renamed version, yes. What are the old version? How it is being? We know what name it has been renamed now.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't have the knowledge about the renamed persons.
Okay. Do you, what is your view on renaming different welfare schemes of government?
As long as these welfare schemes do not harp on parochial tendencies and do not borderline upon inciting any such disparities and divisions present in the society, renaming any scheme as such does not have any effect as long as it trickles down to the most bottom level beneficiary in the country.
Okay. Can you name a scheme which is focusing on the use of solar energy in the country?
Yes, so Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana and solar rooftop scheme.
What is that scheme?
Solar rooftop scheme, sir?
Oh, yeah. Could you please elaborate in
Yes, sir.
detail?
Solar rooftop scheme encourages domestic residents to install solar panels upon their own homes. This will ensure that they do transition towards using renewable sources of energy, not only within their homes, they can also sell the extra amount of energy that they produce within their domestic enterprises to the grids. This will have twofold effect. This will reduce their electricity bills, which will hence they will have a greater amount of disposable income in their hands. And second, this will also help to address the grave financial concerns that our power grids are facing today.
Okay. Can you tell me what has happened in the Bangladesh in the recent past?
Yes, sir. So Bangladesh Supreme Court had given a decision about reservation with respect to its ex-martyrs and their dependents and relatives who had helped in the Bangladesh liberation movement, but students of the country were not, and the youth of the country, due to the huge unemployment issue that's very prevalent in Bangladeshi society and economy, were not very eager about and not very enthusiastic about the Supreme Court decision, which led to a huge student protest with ousting of Hasina Sheikh's government and establishment of Muhammad Yunus government.
So what is your view providing asylum to Sheikh Hasina like in India? What will be an impact on our relationship and future relationship of this relationship between these two countries, Bangladesh and India?
Yes. As of now, India has not given a political asylum to Sheikh Hasina. She's here as a humanitarian gesture because she had threat of life over Bangladesh. And as concerns about the political asylum, India has always adopted a very non-aligned strategy with respect to its partners. So any such consideration which has the impact of souring relationships with Bangladesh, I don't think the Indian government or the Indian foreign relations in general would vouch towards that. And with respect to the Indian-Bangladeshi relations, neighborhood relations are always based on reciprocity, dialogue, discussion, and collaboration. Any such issue which comes within the interests of both the countries or against the interests of both the countries, it's only fair and square that both of the countries do talk about it, discuss about it, and with both of the nations having a very cordial attitude towards each other and having a very cordial attitude towards engaging cooperation rather than hostility, which could be harped upon.
Okay. Can you name states that are going for election recently in India?
Haryana, sir. Haryana is going on for election.
That is the only state that is going for election?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't have much idea.
Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, sir.
What is your view on one nation, one election?
So one nation, one election has its both advantages and disadvantages. Its advantages are we see a burgeoning amount of election expenditure every year. The 17th Lok Sabha was the most expensive election we already had, whereas this expenditure could be diverted towards our social sector expenditures. Our social sector expenditures have been always be on the back front. Second, this will help to bring about the national solidarity and integration and help to ease out the differences that is present between various reasons. Third, with every MCC that comes into force, various developmental works gets cordoned off during those period of times. So one nation, one election will help to address those issues so that the entire country or some part of the countries are not always in a mode of election, because it's a generalistic view that whenever elections do come into picture, populist measures, populist demands comes into picture, and development takes a back foot during those times. So this and the demerits are regional issues are very better articulated by regional parties who do fight elections at their own times. If one nation, one election becomes a norm, there's a huge chances of national interest overpowering regional interest. And this we also very huge issue of local elected representatives might not be able to able to be that accountable to their people, as in case of regular elections. That does help to keep the electoral system in check. It helps people to see if their elected representatives do fulfill their aims and aspirations. So, and with all these advantages and disadvantages, Kovind committee has already submitted its report. So I think a better judgment, discussion, a multi-party discussion, placing the report out in the open so that citizens as well as civil society could give their inputs, and a very collaborative effort will lead the path in this space.
So this implementation, whether it has got any contradiction with our constitution, does it require any amendment to the constitution, or simply we can implement it?
One nation, one election does not require any amendment to the constitution. So we always have.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. It does not. No, sir. There's no provision which debars one nation, one election. So in my opinion,
Sarah, one of the sorry for interfering. You are very articulate, extremely articulate. But wherever you are not factually correct,
yes, sir.
Do not give an answer which will give an impression that you are the authority on it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
There is a provision in the constitution that the state assemblies will have a tenure of 5 years.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So this has to be amended.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting my point? Article 82 has to be amended. So,
yes,
the way you told me that there is no requirement of constitutional amendment, that will, immediately the impression of the board would be that, though he doesn't know about it, he is very confidently, playing a shot, thinking that nobody would be able to catch that ball, So that please avoid that. Yeah.
Sir, you can continue. Sir. That's all my.
Sarah, you, as I mentioned, you are extremely articulate. So let me ask a few questions in sociology, because that's your optional paper.
Yes.
Now tell me, how do you differentiate the contribution of Weber with Marx? How do you compare? Or more specifically, how is their viewpoints diametrically different, Weber and Marx, and in which area?
Marx was a conflict theorist, sir, and Marx was known for his macro approach towards society, whereas Weber through his social action approach brought in a micro orientation towards the study of sociology.
Okay.
Marx's work is known for his.
Just 1 second. There was a book which was written by Weber, Protestant Ethic and Spirit of Capitalism.
Yes, sir.
What was the essence of this book? What was the essence of this book?
The underlying essence of this book was how religion shaped capitalism, how the ethics of Protestantism, such as ushery, discipline, theory of predestination, and calling.
What was Marx's view on religion?
Religion is the opium of the masses. It lulls masses into inaction, and it allows the capitalist system to continue with their operation.
So this is the basic difference. This is what I asked you.
Okay.
You are talking of society in a macro way, micro way, conflict. This is not the view. It is different. The difference essentially for Karl Marx
Yes.
Religion is a superstructure.
Yes.
Religion, law, idea, these are all superstructure.
Yes, sir.
The material well-being, the material conflicts are the basic foundational issues.
Yes, sir.
So that is where the difference comes.
Yes.
For Weber, he found that Protestant ethic, Calvinism, they can contribute very, very significantly to the growth of capitalism.
Yes.
So while religion is very, very important for growth of capitalism, for Marx, religion is the major destabilizing force for capitalism.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? So
Yes.
give very, very specific answer.
Okay, sir.
Why
you.
is Durkheim considered an empirist? Empiricism, that they say that, he is the father of empiricism in social science. Can you give me an example? Why is he called empiricist?
Okay, sir. So he conducted a study about suicide
Wonderful.
where he had noted that no psychological factors are responsible for the underlying current of suicide in the society. Rather, he collected data about suicides taking place in different societies, and
Yes.
he, in his theory, theorized that suicide is a social fact which which can be traced through two other social facts, which is social integration and moral regulations.
What are the major findings of his study? Absolutely fine. You are absolutely fine. He said it's a societal cause which causes. First thing you have to explain, Sarah, when this kind of questions is asked,
Yes.
that he established a causal relationship between what is happening and its impact on the outcome.
Yes.
Like in science,
Yes, sir.
previously no one before Durkheim, could find a causal relationship between cause and effect,
Yes, sir.
and they could demonstrate that. So it was Durkheim who could demonstrate that it is possible in a social science like sociology to show a causal relationship between a social factor and its impact. So suicide is one of them. And
Yes.
there he demonstrated how the people who believed in Protestantism
Yes.
were more prone to suicide than those people who believed in who were Catholics. So essentially, he said that your belief system, if you believe in Protestantism, the likelihood of your being prone to committing suicide would be higher. Are you getting my point? So
Yes.
empiricism. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Karl Marx also talked about something called dialectical materialism.
Yes.
What is this whole concept of dialectic? How do you explain what is a dialectic? You need to brush up your sociology.
Yes, sir.
Sarah, you are relying upon intelligence.
Yes.
You are not getting deep into the issues. Okay. See, you are very articulate, extremely articulate, but you have to have more depth.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me. So what is dialectic? What is a dialectic? What does dialectic mean? It's a very fundamental concept of what's a
Yes.
dialectic.
So
What
I
is dialectic? Yeah.
cannot exactly explain what's dialectic, but I know that Marx
No.
had.
You see, dialectic is the very essence of Marxian theory,
Yes, sir.
which he inherited from another Hegel, who
Yes.
talked of dialectical idealism.
Yes.
So, what is the difference between Hegel and Marx? Dialectic means there is a thesis which will be conflicted with an antithesis,
Yes, sir.
and from that conflict, a synthesis will come.
Yes, sir.
So, dialectic is a composite process where a thesis is confronted by an antithesis, which leads to a synthesis. So, in the context of a capitalist society, he said that the labor class would be the thesis, capitalist would be the antithesis, and that conflict will lead to a classless society. Have you followed me?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood? So
Yes.
once you are able to explain this way, immediately they will give you very, very high marks, very, very
Yes.
high marks. Are you getting my point? So are you?
Yes, sir.
So don't mistake my telling all this to you, because since you have taken sociology as your optional papers, they're going to
Yes.
ask you in depth.
Yes.
What are the different kinds of alienation that Marx was talking of? Alienation.
Yes,
There
sir.
are several forms of alienations he talked of.
Yes.
Yeah. What are they? What are they?
Yes, sir. He talked about alienation of the worker from the product and the production process.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Alienation from the society, alienation from his co-workers, and alienation from himself.
Wonderful. You are absolutely thorough in this. So, tell me, what was Talcott Parsons' theory? What did Talcott Parsons' theory was?
Talcott Parsons' theory focused upon social systems, sir, and
Yes.
identified pattern variables.
Yes.
He also talked about the functional prerequisites that needs to be performed in the society so as to maintain the stability and integrity in the society.
And what was the contribution of Robert Merton to sociology?
Robert Merton provided the theory of manifest and latent functions.
Yes.
He said, according to him, a social phenomenon does not only have functions that is very overt and shows itself to the society, but it also has a latent function which does not express itself
You are
very
clear.
overtly.
You are clear. Tell me what was this concept of structural functionalism that Merton is talking of? Structural functionalism?
Yes, sir. The society consists of different structures or different parts in it. These different structures or parts of the society, they perform functions for the society. As a result, along with this, these structures are also characterized by interdependence among each other. And in this process, they contribute towards stability and integrity of the society.
What are the dysfunctions that sociologists talk of? What kind of dysfunctions that we talk of? What are the dysfunctions in a society? In the context of bureaucracy, you tell me, what are the dysfunctions in bureaucracy?
One of the major dysfunctions of bureaucracy is the iron law of oligarchy.
Okay.
Is loss of imaginative capacity.
Okay.
Red tapeism.
Wonderful. You start with red tapeism. You start with red tapeism. Yeah. Red tapeism. Yeah. Then
focus upon excessive focus upon rules rather than upon outcomes.
Not they are not very flexible, very rigid, extremely rigid. Yes. So why did Weber consider bureaucracy to be the most ideal form of government? What are the few characteristics that make bureaucracy the best form of governance?
Weber always considered this as the society evolves, society will move towards rationality. So he was very focused upon the Zwick rational action and the rational.
Only rational.
Yes, sir. Huh? And Zwick rational and legal rational forms of authority, and bureaucracy is a manifestation.
Rules and regulations, rational legal.
Yes, okay. Legal rational form of authority. It's bound by rules. It's not. It helps to establish an order in the society.
Absolutely.
Provides for a permanent executive for the
society. How do you respond? That's fine. Would you respond to civil servants joining politics? How do you look at this phenomena of many civil servants joining politics? Does it go against the principle of bureaucracy, which is supposed to be apolitical? How do you look at it?
So if bureaucrats live their career bureaucracy and do not mix political career and bureaucratic career, and as long as the central services rules does not forbid them from having or mentioning of having a mandatory cooling off period before they go and enter into mainstream politics. So as a rule bound way, if we go by the rule book, it does not seem wrong. But if we see the ethical perspective of it, of course, there can be issues of politicization of bureaucracy. There can be issues of conflict of interest. And
very, very good answer. Extremely good answer. Very, very good answer. Now, let me ask a couple of questions in economics. the last budget, Nirmala Sitharaman has abolished the angel tax.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what is this tax and why this has been abolished now?
Angel tax was levied upon those investors who provided investment for the startup companies. It was taxed at 30%, and this did lower down the ease of doing business environment as well as ranking.
What
for
was the
India.
criticism? Why the tax was being imposed? Why there was a taxation on the angel investors, and why has it been removed now?
There's a taxation on angel investors so as to ensure that this money does not siphon off into slush funds or into other channels where it would lead into a fallacy in the economic system, but with various mechanisms being in place which could restrict and bring about a good corporate governance.
There was a perception that there was money laundering
Yes,
through
sir.
angel investment.
Yes, sir.
That was the major issue, that there was money laundering through the angel investors investment. So that is why it was being taxed. So now the government thinks that no, this is a big deterrence to getting money for the startups, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, women empowerment is a very important issue in Odisha.
Yes.
Now they have got the Subhadra scheme. Okay?
Yes.
And earlier there was a scheme called the Mission Shakti.
Yes, sir.
How do you compare these two schemes? And what is your take on the Mission Shakti program? Is it an effective tool for women empowerment, or do you have any other take on this? So, firstly, tell me the difference between the two.
Mission Shakti was a capability-oriented skill, sir. It
What are that?
Capacity-oriented skill, sir. It linked your cash transfers or your financial incentives to SSGs, to emancipation of women, to include them in the cooperatives.
How did what is the whole concept of SSG? What was the whole concept of SSG? What was the role of the government in there?
The whole concept of SSG is ensuring.
What do you understand by women's self-help group?
Yes, sir. Women's self-help group was to bring about a collective movement, mobilize women, provide them with a way so as to they can have access to.
Why do they collect together? What is the basic objective?
So to have
when we are saying that there should be a women's self-help group.
Yes.
Why women form this kind of groups? What is the basic objective?
The basic objective is to have a collective voice, to have a collective bargaining capacity and bargaining power.
This is the problem with you, Sarah. This is the problem.
Yes.
You know, you are not going deep into the issue. The concept of SSG was mooted so that the women can pull together their saving, and out of this saving they can give money to potential investors.
Okay, sir.
That of course will lead to women empowerment.
Yes, sir.
You know, this was based on the experience in Bangladesh under Yunus.
Yes.
Where you had the Grameen Bank.
Yes, sir.
The women, the self-help group of women, this was also the same thing. Ilavat also did that in Gujarat.
Yes, sir.
So the whole concept of SSG is built on women pulling together their savings with a view to help their own sisters, their own members to take up entrepreneurship. So what the Odisha government was doing, Odisha government was helping them to get loans from the banks, was helping them to do marketing, was training them. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So the Mission Shakti was a self-driven movement which was being propelled by the state government.
Yes.
Whereas in case of Subhadra, it's a direct cash transfer of 5,000 rupees in 2 installments in a year. Are you getting my point? Do you think that it will lead to empowerment of women? Have you understood the
Yes, sir.
the Mission Shakti thing.
Yes, sir.
Don't talk about the voice will come only when you pull together money, when you
Yes.
are working, when you become an entrepreneur,
Yes,
when
sir.
you are earning something, then only you'll have a voice,
Yes, sir.
not otherwise. Yeah, tell me. Do you think that Mission Shakti is going to be effective for women empowerment? How do you look at it?
Mission Shakti, sir.
No, I'm
Subhadra.
talking about Subhadra.
Subhadra.
Subhadra. Will
Yes.
Subhadra be an effective scheme for women empowerment?
Subhadra scheme is a financial transfer or a cash transfer scheme which
Yes.
puts a certain amount of money in the hands of women so as to enable their decision making capacity or having some sort of
Wonderful.
economic
Wonderful.
enterprise. Yes, sir.
Will this kind of a money help them to become entrepreneurs? Will 10,000 rupees in a year help them to become entrepreneurs?
So have a 10,000 rupees will be enough to establish a cottage industries or micros and small sector industry from their homes, operate it and have it as a seed money, scale it up, and we have various financial formal banking channels like and schemes like Stand Up India, which will enable them to scale up if they want to scale up uh, to a higher degree. But in the as with the case of every cash transfer schemes and direct cash transfer schemes, the issue with this is there are huge chances of this being put into use for where it's not meant to be.
Absolutely. That's the point. So, so therefore, even in the PM Kisan scheme,
So,
there is a perception that this kind of a money is not really helping agricultural productivity.
yes, sir.
It is helping them to bail them out of financial insecurity.
Yes, sir.
But if you really want to improve agriculture productivity, so these are more in the nature of freebies.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes.
if you really want to empower them, you need to give them much better, investment opportunities. Then only they would be truly empowered. But yes, it helps the poor women and all. So it is a scheme in the right direction, but it certainly will not really lead to great empowerment.
Yes.
Final question, this question on the extradition treaty between Bangladesh and India. When
Yes.
was it done? This extradition treaty?
Sorry, sir, I don't know about
2013. 2013.
Thank you, sir.
What was the escape clause there? That many people say that if Bangladesh asks for extraditing to Sheikh Hasina, so India may not extradite her. What is the reason? What is the reason for some people saying this?
Sir, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact escape clause, but
What
there
is an extradition treaty? What does it
extradition.
mean?
Yes, so extradition treaties are usually signed in between various sovereigns, so as to ensure that if any any criminal, any fraud, or any fugitive takes shelter in another territory, the sovereigns
Wonderful.
can have access to them.
So between India and Bangladesh, that extradition treaty in 2013, it had an escape clause. It had
Yes.
an escape clause. What was that escape clause?
I'm sorry, so I don't know the exact escape clause.
थोड़ा सा पढ़ो उसको. देखो ऐसा है ना सारा, you are a very, very bright girl, very good communication skills, but you are just not getting into the depth of the issues.
Yes, sir.
You are relying more on your gut feeling
Yes.
rather than very solid preparation.
Yes.
You need to go into this.
Yes.
See, it came in Hindu about a week back.
Yes, sir.
The extradition treaty between India and Bangladesh says that if somebody has fled the country because of a political reason,
Yes, sir.
then he or she cannot be extradited.
Yes, sir.
So unless he is proclaimed as a criminal through a legitimate process, then only they can send a request and will then be duty bound, but not otherwise.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? You yourself mentioned that she has not taken asylum, but on a humanitarian basis. But she has come because the politics of Bangladesh, the political climate of Bangladesh didn't allow her to continue further. That is how she had difficulty.
Yes.
There is a unified pension scheme. What do you understand by that? Unified pension scheme. Why is this scheme called a unified pension scheme? You must have heard about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me.
So yes, unified pension scheme has been brought in augmentation of the national pension scheme, with government having a greater contribution towards the employees' contribution.
How much? See, first of all, what are the earlier schemes before UPS?
So there was OPS and there was NPS.
When was the NPS introduced?
2014-15.
2004. You are absolutely hitting like Surya Kumar Yadav, thinking that all the balls will go for a 6. Okay. So be very careful. 2004. What are the difference between NPS and OPS?
So
what was the difference between NPS and OPS, and what is the present scheme?
Yes.
You have to read these things. You have to tell me, what was the OPS scheme?
So OPS scheme was not a contributory scheme.
Wonderful. There was no contribution from the employer.
Yes.
And how much were they getting? 50% of the last pay.
Or the 50% of the last drawn.
The last pay and pay and DA they were getting. Like me, yours truly, who's sitting in front of you virtually.
Yes.
So we are covered under the OPS scheme. No contribution, but we are getting. And what was the NPS scheme?
Sir, NPS scheme was contributory.
It's a contributory scheme, and whatever you are contributing would be invested in the market.
Yes, sir.
And your pension will be determined by the market conditions.
Yes, sir.
How much and what is the new system?
The unified pension scheme, sir.
How is it a combination?
The unified pension scheme has increased the employee contribution towards the corpus of
it has increased the employees' contribution.
No, employers' contribution, sir. Government's contribution.
How much?
12 to 14%.
No, it was earlier 14%. Now it is 18.5%. Earlier it was 14%. Now it is 18.5%.
Yes.
Employee contribution is 10%.
Contribution, yes.
See, in the present scheme, you are getting 50% of the average of the last 12 months.
Yes, sir. OPS.
So that is like the OPS.
Yes,
OPS
sir.
they are getting on the basis of the last pay.
Yes.
Now it is the average of the last 12 months.
Yes, sir.
But there is also a contribution. Contribution.
Yes, contributors.
And what is the minimum number of years to get a pension? What is the minimum years? Sarah, you have to see these things here. 10 years. 10 years. Unless you have 10 years, you will not get a pension. Minimum years and what is the minimum pension you are entitled?
So for
UPS, how much would be the minimum pension that somebody will get if he or she has 10 years?
I'm sorry, sir.
10,000. You must note them down. Okay. So my assessment of you is that you are an absolutely outstanding communicator.
Yes.
But unless somebody is a good fielder, it is very difficult to take your catches. There would be somebody who will sort you out.
Yes.
Okay?
Sir. Yes. Sir.
So that is how so please brush this along.
Yes, I will.
All the current schemes, all the current issues, brush them up, make notes. My request is make notes on that.
Yes, I will, sir.
If you sit down for 4-5 hours, nobody can stop you from getting this.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I will surely make a note of it.
You can get through the IAS, you can get through, provided you go into the depth of the issues.
Yes, sir.
This is my impression of it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All the best, Sarah.
Thank you, sir.
In the last time, केते मार्क रे कटिला तमे जो इंटरव्यू देथिलो?
Sir, total marks ru 8 marks rahiyetla sir.
8 marks रे तम फाइनल रैंक लिस्ट को कटिए
Yes sir.
this time
इंटरव्यू रे केते मार्क मिलथिला
Agya sir
इंटरव्यू मार्क केते थिला इंटरव्यू रे
178 thila sir.
178 then
Agya.
you are the topper in the interview I think
हाँ सर मोर एक्चुअली फॉरेस्ट्री रे मार्क्स बहुत कमी जाइतला मेंस रे सेति पई
से बहुत ढिला सारा बहुत ढिला ताकू भलो करी मो बेले गोटे लोक नहले ताकू पढेबा ताकू डिटेल रे पढेबा पे तुमको दरकार मो बेले गोटे लोक
sir 178 I think OPSC रे हाईएस्ट जो OPSC रे हाईएस्ट मार्क सर
से पाइबो सब बेले से अरे जे ओपीएससी इंटरव्यू रे रहबे से माने तार इंग्लिश सुनि के तार कॉन्फिडेंस सुनि के से कहबे सला ये को कोन पचारे ये तो हमहु पचारे लोक
दीपक से हमर थिला जो गनगुल झियाटी जे पाइला सेकंड अटेम्प्ट रे कोन ता ना लिप्सा भारती और सारा मलिक सेम कैटेगरी
yes bhai you have catch
स्टार्ट हे जे माने
सारा बुझला बुझला कि तुमको पाके माने बसै करी तुमको सब डिटेल रे देखियो पड़िबो हला माय रिक्वेस्ट इज प्लीज ब्रश अप योर सोशियोलॉजी अ लिटिल बिट
sir sir मु मस्ट कहिबे जति पॉइंट सारा टोल्ड जो गुडा कहले दैट इज वेरी इंपोर्टेंट पॉइंट सर वेरी माने मु आमे जते पिलांकर इंटरव्यू करिचे समथिंग सी हैव टेल डिफरेंट आउ गोटे कॉन्फिडेंटली बहुत गुडे एंगल नै के असले जोटा अनलेस अंटिल आपन को भली लोक नथिले बोर्ड करिया को आपन जानि सुनी मो मतरे इन डेप्थ पछले कारण अन्य मानक अपेक्षा ही सी एक्चुअली
तो सुनो तो से सब उड़े दो से पूरा से उड़े दो से सूर्य कुमार यादव ताकू ता बॉल धरिया पे पछरे वन मस्ट बी केयरफुल नॉट से स्कूप कर दो बॉल कर दो मार दो स्कूप
sir good thing is you cannot develop your communication skill overnight but facts you can always build maybe 2 days you can make it whatever gaps you have
सेइत पे आई एम टेलिंग यू टे बसिकरी करंट इवेंट जते गुडे अछि टिके 4-5 लाइन जन लिखि दियो ओडिसा बजट टिके नोट कर दियो इंडिया बजट टिके नोट कर दियो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर कोन जजमेंट जे चीज में कर दियो ओटे टिके नोट कर देले कोन होबो ना ये चितपटांग है जिवे सो ओपीएससी मेंबर सब चितपटांग है जिवे
ओके तमर केते 7 तारिख रे अछि
यस सर 7
ऑल द बेस्ट
थैंक यू सर थैंक यू सो मच
के जनकर अछि सर
आज्ञा सर
7 तारिख रे के जनकर अछि तमर
सर जाना नहीं ओपीएससी तरफ रो पर्सनल इंटीमेशन आस्तला तो नोटिस बार नहीं जाना नहीं सके जनकर अछि
ओके हमें यू विल डेफिनेटली गेट इट विद इन टॉप 30 आई एम श्योर
से पाइबो बहुत भल पाइबो से माने बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट अछि से पूरा सूर्य कुमार यादव पर मु कहली तार होछि सूर्य कुमार यादव से
यस